Loud. I think, is it recording yet? Ah, you see the recording icon?
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Say hey, everybody.
Hey. Everybody.
Hello.
They're not sure they're everybody's yet. Hey, guys. Welcome back to the Magic Purple Circle with Mr. Darian. They're not Mr. Darian. I am.
Why would I, Darian?
All right. So, today, they are the Upstart Crows. Give us something, Upstart. Do y'all have a call or something?
No.
I mean, you are the Upstart. Do you go like nevermore, nevermore, or something like that?
That's the Raven, not the Crow.
Well, Raven, Crow, Blackbird.
What?
Look, do it again, Katie. Do it again.
What is that?
Davion did it first.
Wait,
Davion, do it.
It's like a bird.
I don't know how to do it.
It's cute.
All right. So for those of us who have not been here before, this is the Magic Purple Circle with Mr. Darian, Upstart Crows, the South Carolina Shakespeare Company's Upstart Crows crossover. We talked about that last time. Whenever two comic book characters from two different universes or the same universes, two different books, we get together, we called it the crossover adventure. So guess what? We're crossing over. And the Crows, well, first, let's meet the Crows, right? Who are you? Tell me who you are.
Cool. I'm Katie. I'm the leader of the Upstart Crows. I got this motley crew together, and we meet twice a week, and we work on theater. We create a safe and welcoming space for each other to share our ideas, and we learn a little bit about what it's like to be a working actor along the way. And we focus mainly on Shakespeare, but other stories as well.
Cool. All right.
Crows,
Who's that
can
to
you
your
Sorry.
left?
I was just going to say, Crows, can you introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Lena.
I'm Natty.
Hi, I'm Davion.
I'm Terrence.
And I'm Max.
All right. Thank you for the Upstart Crows. Give it to us one more time, David. Give it to us.
Oh, God.
Did you hear that?
What?
He clapped with that one. He put sound when he clapped. All right. So I hear that you guys have been working on some other stuff. Not only Shakespeare, but you have something you would like to share with our families. Something else. Why don't you tell us about it, Katie?
Yeah, sure. So we were looking at some different material besides Shakespeare. You know, the world that we live in right now is very different. So we decided that our material could possibly be a little different. We wanted to find something that would allow us to still act and work on acting and acting skills, but be able to fit, within the walls of a camera, within a Zoom screen or a TV screen. So we started to look for some fairy tales, and we found, you might want to call them a mixed up or a crossover fairy tale. So we found some fairy tales, and this group was cast in a fairy tale called The True Story of the Three Little Pigs, or The True Story of the Big Bad Wolf. And it was originally written by John Shakespeare. You might have to correct me there. And I found an edited version that was made by Aaron Shepard, who's a teacher. So he took Mr. Shakespeare's story and made it into something they could use in the classroom. And then we turned it into a play that we could do, or a scene that we could do here with you. So this allows the students to work on their voices, small movements that are good for the camera, and really showcase their wit, their intelligence, and their humor through this fairy tale.
So without further ado, Crows, are you ready? Miss Katie?
Yeah.
Okay. You run it from here. Take it away.
Okay. All right. Is everybody seated comfortably? You've got your script available. So for those of you out there who are tuning in, this is reader's theater, or you could almost think of it as like tuning into a radio show. But also you get a chance to see our faces. So the acting and the storytelling you're going to hear is coming from inside the actors' voices, but then also, in this square. So we're going to do our best to tell this story. So this is the true story of the Big Bad Wolf, told by the Upstart Crows.
Everybody knows the story of the Three Little Pigs, or at least they think they do. But I'll let you in on a little secret. Nobody knows the real story because nobody has ever heard my side of the story. I'm Wolf Alexander T. Wolf. You can call me A1.
No one knows just how this whole big bad wolf thing got started, but it's all wrong.
Maybe it's because wolves eat cute little animals like bunnies and sheep and pigs. That's just the way they are. If cheeseburgers were cute, folks would probably think people were big and bad too.
But the whole big bad thing is all wrong.
The real story is about a sneeze and a cup of sugar.
Way back in Once Upon a Time, our friend the wolf was making a birthday cake for his dear granny.
He had a terrible sneezing cold.
I ran out of sugar.
So he walked down the street to ask his neighbor for a cup of sugar.
Now, this neighbor was a pig.
And he wasn't too bright either.
He had built his whole house out of straw.
Can you believe it? Who in his right mind would build a house of straw?
So of course, the minute the wolf knocked on the door, it fell right in, and he didn't want to just walk into someone else's house.
So he called.
Little pig, are you in?
No answer.
He was just about to go home without the cup of sugar for his dear old granny's birthday cake.
Guess I'll just go home.
That's when his nose started to itch.
He felt a sneeze coming on.
Well, he huffed, and he snuffed.
And he sneezed a great sneeze.
And you know what? That whole darn straw house fell down. And right in the middle of the pile of straw was the first little pig, dead as a doornail.
He had been home the whole time.
It seems like a shame to leave a perfectly good ham dinner lying there in the straw.
Seems like a shame to leave a perfectly good ham dinner lying there in the straw.
So the wolf ate it up.
Think of it as a big cheeseburger just lying there.
He was feeling a little better, but he still didn't have his cup of sugar, so he went to the next neighbor's house.
The neighbor was the first little pig's brother. He was a little smarter, but not much. He built his house out of sticks.
He rang the bell on the stick house.
Nobody answered.
He called.
Mr. Pig, are you in?
He yelled back.
Go away, wolf! You can't come in! I'm shaving the hair of my shinny shin.
He had grabbed the doorknob when he felt another sneeze coming on.
I feel another sneeze coming on.
He huffed and he puffed.
And he tried to cover his mouth, but he sneezed a great sneeze.
And you're not going to be it. But this guy's house fell down just like his brother's.
When the dust cleared, there was the second little pig, dead as a doornail.
Wolf's honor.
Now, you know food will spoil if you leave it out in the open.
So the wolf did the only thing there was to do.
I did the only thing there was to do.
He had dinner. Again.
Think of it as a second helping.
He was getting awfully full, but his cold was feeling a little better.
And he still didn't have that cup of sugar for his dear old granny's birthday cake.
So the wolf went to the next house. This guy was the first and second little pig's brother.
He must have been the brains of the family. He had built his house of bricks.
Ooh, bricks.
The wolf knocked on the brick house. No answer.
Mr. Pig, are you in?
And do you know what that rude little porker answered?
Get out of here, wolf! Don't bother me again!
Talk about impolite.
He probably had a whole sack full of sugar.
And he wouldn't give the wolf even one little cup for his dear sweet old granny's birthday cake.
What a pig.
The wolf was just about to go home, maybe make a nice birthday card instead of a cake, when he felt his cold coming on.
I feel my cold coming on again. Stupid algae.
He huffed, and he snuffed, and he sneezed once again.
Then the third little pig yelled,
And your old granny can sit on a bed!
The wolf was usually a pretty calm fellow, but when he heard somebody talk about his sweet old granny like that, he went a little crazy.
Nobody talks about my granny like that.
The cops pulled up. Of course he was trying to break down this pig store, And the whole time the wolf was huffing and puffing and sneezing and making a real scene.
The rest, as they say, is history.
The news reporters found out about the 2 pigs he had for dinner.
My granny taught me never to waste food.
They figured a sick guy going to borrow a cup of sugar didn't sound very exciting.
So they jazzed up the story with all that huff and puff and blow your house down stuff.
And they made him the big bad wolf.
That's it. The real story of A1, the wolf.
That was framed.
Well, maybe you will loan him a cup of sugar.
The end.
Bravissimo! Bravissimo! Oh, yeah, give us a salute, give us a salute, give us a salute.
Shakespeare.
All right, good job, guys, good job. All right, so we're going to try to keep this episode. Last time we went like 30-something minutes, and it was great. But most people don't stay on for 30-something minutes. So I'm going to ask you guys some questions, jump around and ask you. Okay, Terrence, I want to start with you, all right? So you're a very busy young man, right? What grade are you in again?
11.
And you got a gig, right? You work. As a matter of fact, between school and work, you actually didn't have enough time to rehearse for this. That's why you didn't do any lines today, right?
Yes, sir.
So that's a lot of. So Terrence, tell me, you have a lot of demands for your time, but yet you still make time for the Upstart Crows. Why?
Well, one thing, when I was like 8, I'll never forget, I told my mom and my dad, I want to act. And I went and did a play, and I never did anything else after that. So, Davion texted me in like February and was like, so he sent me all the information for Upstart, and then ever since then, it's like it's something that I want to do.
So you're committed. You want to do this. You've made that choice. Cool. We thank you for your commitment, because that's what it's going to take, Terrence. I know Katie has told you that. That's what it's going to take. But it takes commitment to do anything. All right, Lena, I have a question for you. All right, now we just heard a very personal story from Terrence about why he wants to do the Upstart Crows. I'm going to expand that same question a little bit about Shakespeare. You guys did a great story today, but Shakespeare is really the reason you guys all came together. What's so important about Shakespeare? What's the big deal about Shakespeare?
That is a great question, and I'm probably the wrong person to answer that because I haven't been doing this a long time, like you and Katie have. Well, okay, I've done other things before. I've done theater in school for years. I've done summer camps for years. I've even done other like Shakespeare workshops before, but nothing like this. And the way that Katie does this and the way that we interact with this like format, I think is so important. This is like the most diverse group of people that I've ever been able to work with at all in any way, and I just absolutely love that. It's so important, especially in a city like Columbia that, you know, has a long way to go in the form of diversity. And I mean, it's great that it's somebody who died over 400 years ago that brought this group of people together. And I love that these old ancient words still have the power to do that. So.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hooray for Shakespeare and the power of 400-year-old words. All right, so Natty, you said what is Natty? You said what?
What?
You look so,
Natty's there.
you're just so cool like that. You look like, okay, whatever, dude. So Natty, you've been on stage. You've been on stage for a few Shakespeare pieces, right? What have you done?
Um,
Well, hold on. Katie has something she wants to interject.
I was just going to say that I have seen Natty grow up from, I don't remember how old you were, but he was so little. Like, He was a tiny little boy, and I have seen him go from like a little guy on stage, being an actor, but then now he's taller than I am, and he's a real actor now, and I have just absolutely loved seeing Natty go from like this cute little boy that's on stage because he's cute. Sorry, Natty. And then, you know, now he's a real actor, and he plays with the words and he plays with the sounds and he tells stories now, and I'm just like, I get so excited when I see Natty all the time, because in my brain he's like, you know, 6, but he's not. Sorry, Natty.
Oh, that hurt.
Ow.
So, Natty, that's a nice setup. Are you paying Katie? Did you pay her for that? Okay, shh. On the hush. All right, so Natty, you got a lot of experience. Quiet as is kept. Lena's been a little bashful, a little shy, but Lena is one of the few young people I know who read Shakespeare for fun. Reads Shakespeare, so she's a little more knowledgeable than she lets on. Well, I'm sure you guys know that. But anyway, so Natty, being on stage, reading these words, Lena talked about 400-year-old words. Terrence talked about discipline. Lena talked about the power of these words to bring people together. What you got to add to that conversation? Have you had fun being on stage, or did your mom just make you do it?
Well, I obviously started out when I was really young.
How old were you the first time?
Like 4.
4 years old?
Yeah.
And this was with the South Carolina Shakespeare Company or at school?
I think with the South Carolina Shakespeare Company. I wasn't in school there yet, and anything yet. I remember when I was growing up, it was half of my family was pro theater and the other half was anti-theater, and I was on the teeter between both of them. And when I was younger, I loved doing theater. It was fun, which is ironic because I'm not really that much of I like to talk in front of people. I hate doing presentations. It's just not really my thing because I don't want to presentate. But when I'm up on the stage giving this character that I think that other people would enjoy, it seems to flow more freely within me than saying, the clouds are clouds because rain happens, and precipitation and evaporation. I think I just have a lot more fun with the bouncy characters that I play than other things that I normally do.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, Max, you're up.
Okay.
All right, so we're expanding on this. I guess the core question, there are actually many. Why Shakespeare? Why Shakespeare, but specifically, why Shakespeare? Blah, 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 blah. Why Shakespeare for you, Max? Why Shakespeare for you?
I like the words.
Yeah.
I've heard some of your work. I've heard some of your work, and it's really good. I like it.
You like the words? Do you like the different words? Because Shakespeare actually invented words. Some people said made up words.
I like the different words.
Yeah. For me, that's one of my things too. I think when language makes your brain work differently. And Shakespeare, even though it's English, he's still kind of working in his own language, especially for us 400 years later.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Which is something I like that Max said that, because Max himself makes up words a lot of times. He's kind of a little Shakespeare, coins words all the time. So I get that he likes that part about Shakespeare.
Cool. All right, David, we ain't left you out, dude.
Okay.
What you got? We're expanding. We've talked about the words. We like the words. I like the way even the words feel in my mouth. Literally, I like the way, like sometimes I'll get to points like, I need to say, I gotta get some Shakespeare. But we've talked about discipline from Terrence. We've talked about the power of these words to bring all different kinds of people together from Lena. We've talked about liking the words from Max. We've talked about finding freedom within characters from Natty that we may not always feel with ourselves, but once we get on stage, we occupy, we occupy these people, their space and their feelings, and we find freedom. What you got to add to all this, Davion? Why Shakespeare for you? Hold on.
Okay.
So you can see. Hold on. So you can see the point. For you.
Okay. Shakespeare is fairly new to me. I mean, of course, I've always known of it because it's so popular. It's like iconic, especially Romeo and Juliet. And the one I like the most right now is because of Lena and Katie. It's Macbeth. I'm really getting into that one. I'm really trying to
stop. Tell me about why. Why? Because of Lena and Katie. Why?
Well, we were working on a script for Macbeth, and I really like the storyline of the witches, what's it called? It starts with it. Yeah, the weird sisters. The magic, and there's something with a P. It's like premonition, but it's another word for it.
Premonition. Yeah.
Yeah, where she told
precog or whatever.
Yeah, where she told him that his son would be a king and stuff like that. It's just interesting to me how that all plays out, and I need to get more into it. But to add on to what everybody else had said, I'd say why Shakespeare is because of creativity. You can go in so many directions with it. Even though there's a script, you can still make the character your own, like Natty said. You can still have fun with it and make it your own, and I like that. And you can always interpret a whole different story from the actual story that it's from, like the whole Romeo and Juliet thing about good versus evil, good family, bad family, not meant to be together. It's always something that you can make your own. So I like that.
You are not allowed to give a better answer than me to the same question. I'm sorry.
Too bad, Lena. Too bad.
I'm going to cry. You guys are amazing. You're making Miss Katie cry.
Look at that. That's great. Those are great. Thank you, Miss Katie. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Crows. This is great, man. Get ready because there are gonna be more crossovers. But Lena, Terrence, Natty, Davion, Max, that's the order you are on my screen. Thank you. And of course, Miss Katie. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys.
Katie.
We're going to wrap this up. We're going to try to keep these short so people can see the whole thing, okay? So next time we come back, you guys will do something else. We'll have more questions. But right now, give up your Upstart Crow caca salute. Give it up. Give it up.
Caca!
I don't know if I'm doing right.
All right. Now, when y'all conquer the world, I'm going to want some of that because I won't want some of that. I should have trademarked that.
My plan of world dominations has nothing to do with you.
Nani?
All right. So to all our families out there inside the Magic Purple Circle, we are so glad that you came. If this is your first time meeting the Upstart Crows, you can go check them out. And where can we find out more about the Upstart Crows, Miss Katie?
You can email us at upstartcrows2020@gmail.com. And we are also on YouTube. I'll share that link later.
What's the email address again, Terrence?
UpstartCrows2020@gmail.com.
You expect me to have a freaking email address? Like, come on. What do you think? I'm 17 years old? I'm freaking 12.
All right, good job, guys. I hope you guys had as much fun as I had hosting you. Magic Purple Circle families, this is how we get down. We do this all the time. We hoping that you're having a good day and a good week and a good time, no matter what the circumstances, because we're all together. And we hope you are safe, but know that you are loved. All right, peace. You guys be good.
Bye.
Bye, Crows.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hi. That was, I love that.